You know, we all think, we all think we understand fame. The lights, the money, the millions of fans screaming your name. But for some people, fame comes faster than they can even understand it. And when it hits that young, it changes everything. Today, we're talking about Justin Bieber, from a small-town Canadian kid raised by a single mom to one of the most streamed artists in music history. This is the story of how Justin Bieber went from broke to broken to finally finding balance in his life. Justin Drew Bieber was born on March 1st, 1994, in Stratford, Ontario, a quiet, working-class town. His mom, Patty Millette, had him when she was just 18 years old. Life wasn't easy. They lived in government housing, sometimes struggling to make ends meet. But one thing that was never missing was love and belief. Patty noticed Justin's musical talent early. He'd bang on the drums at 2, sing around the house constantly. At 12 years old, Justin entered a local talent contest and came second. Nothing huge, right? But his mom uploaded the performance to YouTube so that family members could see it, and that one decision changed everything. In 2007, Scooter Braun, a young talent manager, stumbled across one of those YouTube videos. He couldn't believe this kid's voice, raw, soulful, and confident. He reached out to Patty, and soon enough, Justin and his mom were on a flight to Atlanta. There he met Usher. Usher once said, "When I met Justin, I saw myself. The drive, the hunger, the spark." Within months, Justin was signed to Raymond Braun Media Group and then to Island Def Jam. He was just 13. From that point on, everything moved fast. By 15, he was already performing for thousands. By 16, his single Baby was topping charts across the world. And before he even finished high school, Justin Bieber was a global phenomenon. Let's talk about those early years, the My World and My World 2.0 era. Justin wasn't just a singer, he was the face of a new generation. Posters on every wall, sold-out arenas, fans crying and fainting at airports. He became the youngest artist to have 7 songs from a debut album chart on the Billboard Hot 100. But behind the hits, there was a young boy barely learning who he was. He went from small-town privacy to living under a microscope. Every move, every mistake, every relationship was public property. And then came the real challenge: growing up while the world watched. By 2012, Justin was no longer just a pop star. He was a target. Paparazzi chased him, tabloids exaggerated everything, and social media turned cruel. The same internet that made him famous now tore him apart. The pressure got to him. There were stories of arrogance, temper outbursts, run-ins with the law. And in 2014, he was arrested in Miami for DUI and resisting arrest. It shocked everyone. But for Justin, it was a wake-up call. He later admitted that fame at such a young age messed him up. He felt trapped, lonely, and angry with himself and the world around him. He told Billboard once, "I had all the success in the world, and I was the most unhappy person." And honestly, that's the part people forget. You can have everything and still feel empty inside. Now, no story about Justin Bieber's journey is complete without mentioning Selena Gomez. They met as teenagers, both at the peak of their fame. Their relationship was beautiful and chaotic. The world loved Yelena, but being young, famous, and constantly followed by millions of people, that kind of pressure can destroy even the strongest bond. Their on and off relationship lasted years, full of emotional highs and painful lows. When it finally ended, it left deep wounds on both sides. Justin has said that he carried a lot of guilt and immaturity into that relationship. And for Selena, it was equally hard. She turned much of that pain into her own music. But in the end, that heartbreak became a turning point for both of them. A step toward healing and rediscovering who they were without the spotlight. By 2015, Justin was rebuilding. He took time off, stayed out of headlines, and started working on what became one of his most important albums, Purpose. That album marked a rebirth. Songs like Sorry, Love Yourself, and What Do You Mean weren't just catchy pop, they were confessions. Justin was taking responsibility, facing his mistakes, and trying to find redemption. He began reconnecting with his faith, leaning on spirituality to find direction. And through all of it, his fans stuck with him. He once said, "I don't deserve how much love people give me, but I'm thankful every day." Then came Haley Baldwin. They had known each other for years, but it wasn't until 2018 that things became serious. And within months, Justin and Haley were married. For Justin, that relationship wasn't just about love, it was about stability. Haley helped him slow down, heal, and focus on mental health. In interviews, he's been honest about his struggles with depression, anxiety, and Lyme disease. He said that Haley and his faith gave him a sense of grounding that fame never could. You can hear that in songs like Intentions, Ghost, and Peaches. They're lighter, freer, and full of gratitude. Today, Justin Bieber isn't the same teenager who sang Baby on a purple stage. He's 30 now, a husband, a believer, a survivor of his own fame. He's sold over 150 million records, won Grammys, toured the world, and earned hundreds of millions of dollars. In 2022, he sold his entire music catalog for around $200 million. But he's also learned that money and fame aren't the real goals. He often says that what matters most now is peace. Peace with himself, with others, and with his past. That's the real wealth. When you look back, Justin Bieber's story isn't just about music. It's about growing up in public, falling apart, and having the courage to rebuild in front of the world. If there's one thing we can learn from Justin's story, it's that success without balance can destroy you. But growth, real growth, comes from hitting bottom and deciding to climb back up. From a kid singing on the streets of Stratford to one of the biggest artists on the planet, Justin Bieber has lived a lifetime before 30. He's proof that it's never too late to start over, say sorry, and find peace in who you are. Thanks for tuning in to From Broke to Billion Streams. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and share it with someone who grew up listening to Justin Bieber. Next week, we'll explore another story of fame, failure, and redemption. Until then, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep chasing purpose, not perfection. Lessons from Bieber's journey. If there's one thing we can learn from Justin's story, it's that success without balance can destroy you. But growth, real growth, comes from hitting bottom and deciding to climb back up. From a kid singing on the streets of Stratford to one of the biggest artists on the planet, Justin Bieber has lived a lifetime before 30. He's proof that it's never too late to start over, say sorry, and find peace in who you are. Thanks for tuning in to From Broke to Billion Streams. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and share it with someone who grew up listening to Justin Bieber.